Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Half-time report. This is where I briefly discuss how I've been getting on with the 6 pens that I started this Pens in Use month with. This month, the first pen was the Jinh How X159. Nice bulky pen this, really nice size, nice wide section, very, very comfortable to use. It's got that large number 8 nib. It's a fine nib, but I think it's quite a generous line it puts down. And cartridge converter, it's actually out of ink this. I haven't cleaned it out. Hopefully I'll get that cleaned out later on today. But it's a nice pen. It's very comfortable to use. I did think about re-inking it, but I've got so many inked pens at the moment. I thought, look, it was nearly halfway through the month when it ran out. Let's just not bother and try a different pen. So that was my first pen. Pen number 2. This is the Picasso Primier 916. Beautiful black pen. I love this red on here. Really pops. Like the fact it's got the black nib, so it all matches in with everything else. So we've got a really stealthy looking pen apart from that little hint of red. Then we've got a cartridge converter. Again, another one needs to be cleaned out. Not so keen on this one. Very, very thin. My fingers there, or my finger and thumb, they're very squashed together when I'm holding it. It feels short. It feels light. Especially when you compare it, let's just take that, compare it to that Jinhao there, very minute pen, which is a shame because it looks nice. It actually writes quite well. It's just not very comfortable to use. And that puts me off. So when this ran out of ink, it was a bit of a no-brainer decision not to re-ink it. Next up, we've got the Kaigelu 316A. This is a pen I have re-inked. I love writing with this pen. It's very, very nice. Very, very generous medium line, more like a broad line to me. I love this colour in this gorgeous green. We've got different tones in there, slight bit of translucency. Here we've got the nib. This is the Kaigelu number 6 nib, so I could change it, but I don't intend to. It's a beautiful nib to write with. Another pen, cartridge converter. You can see here we've got plenty of ink in here. I've changed the ink. I've now got Robert Oster light green in this. And the ink, I'm not sure about it, to be honest. When I'm writing with it, it's very pale, like more watery, but it quickly dries. And as it's drying, the colour goes darker and we get a more saturated green. And the green that we end up with does really match the body of this. One thing I have noticed, I don't know if you can see it here, we've got ink pooling between the feed and the section body there. So that's something I need to look at. When I clean this, I'll have to pull out the nib and feed, give it a really good clean. But I will be honest, so far of all the pens, this is up there in position 1 or 2 at the moment. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. Would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Next up, PenBBS 487. In terms of shape and size, this pen is nearly perfect for me. It's a nice size in the hand. The section, little teeny bit on the thin side, but not unusably so. Nice number 6 size nib. It's a fine nib. Writes, again, it's quite a generous, I would say, heading towards a medium line. Very much like writing with this pen. It's so comfortable. Again, we're talking one of my favourite pens in terms of actual writing. What lets this pen down is its filling mechanism. So as I would have shown in my introduction, it's a magnetic filler. So the cap attaches here to this disc. You're meant to be able to pull the disc down, then pull it back up to fill the pen. Does not work. It's never worked. It's been the biggest letdown of this pen. What I do is I just unscrew the section and I eyedropper it. One thing I will say with this pen, it takes an awful lot of ink. It seems to never run out of ink. I'm writing and writing and writing. You can still see there's a little bit of ink left in there now. No matter what I do, I don't seem to be able to reduce the ink level. Very good economical pen for writing. I say nearly a perfect pen for me, apart from that stupid magnetic filling system. That does not work. Another near perfect pen. This is the Majohn or the Moonman M800. There we go. That's the M800 for you there in the brown colour. Oh, Siri wants to play me. I don't know, silly Siri. Yeah, so this is in the amber colour. Beautiful material. Just going to spin this around here so hopefully you can see it. Now, I'm hoping this is not a bad sign, but according to my thing, my preview, my camera is frozen. Let me see if I can get there. Hopefully that was from when Siri was playing up. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully that would have been all right. Another one with a number 6 size nib. Another nice nib on here. I have brought in another M800 this month because this one ran out of ink, and I thought, well, let's change it. And on the other M800, I've actually changed the nib, and I've got a goulet nib on there, which is a broad nib. Again, writes really well. The green one, beautiful colours again. Let's pop the cap back on this. I know, and this is where I have seen some comments. Some people saying it's a clone of a Leonardo Momento Zero. I like to say it's very heavily inspired by, it's a piston filler, not a piston filler, it's a cartridge converter. There's a converter there. Again, you can see I still need to clean this out. Nice colours, just a really nice, comfortable pen to use. I do love the section as well. I know, this is so nice. I could talk about this pen for hours. And I've got to be honest, sometimes I do. So the final pen that we started the month with, this is the Wingsung 698. And it's got the 14 karat gold nib. Let's just get that there. Hopefully you can see that in focus. Smallish looking nib. Get a lot of ink coming out onto this nib. That's one thing I need to explore. Maybe I haven't got the nib and the feed seated properly. This is a piston filling pen. The piston mechanism takes up about half the barrel. I struggle to see the ink level in here, so I'm not sure how much ink is left. I don't think there's much, but it's hard to really see what the actual level is. So that's a bit of a letdown. Size-wise, nice length, but again, I find the section a little teeny little bit on the thin side. I'm being very picky. I've got large hands. It's comfortable to write with. This 14 karat gold nib, very, very sensitive to pressure. So I have to be very thoughtful when I'm using this pen, which in one respect is a good thing because I'm thinking about how I'm writing. I'm thinking about how the pen feels. I'm thinking about how the paper's feeling under the nib. But on the other side, when I'm trying to take notes, I don't want to be thinking about the writing. I want to be thinking about the notes and I want the writing just to happen. And when I'm using this pen, because I'm having to think about how much pressure I put on, it is taking me out of that note-taking mindset a little bit. So it can be a bit distracting for longer note-taking sessions, or where I'm looking at something where I really need to concentrate on the what, not on the how. I need to concentrate on what I'm trying to take notes on, not on how I'm writing. So that's the only downside of that. So far this month, been quite interesting. I've brought in 3 additional pens, which we'll look at when we do the wrap-up video in a couple of weeks. What are your thoughts on the pens you've been using this month? Are there any you particularly like? Are there any that you're struggling with? I'd say, the 698, I'm struggling with it. How does it make you feel when it takes you away from what you're trying to do, which is make notes, and into more concentrating on how to get the pen to write? Do you find that gets frustrating? I'd love to get your ideas. I'd love to get your techniques that you use to try and get out of this concentrating on the writing and back to concentrating on the note taking. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.